And if the U.S. were to attack Syria, what comes next for that country? Joining us this morning is international attorney and security expert Michael Fjetland, who has visited Syria and is watching the situation there very closely. Good morning and thanks for being here.
Thanks, Jose.
You recently published a book in April, an e-book, where you talk about change in the world. The title is Better Times Ahead, April Fool. An amazing title.
It comes from a sign I once saw in India, and it seems to apply probably even in this situation. I've walked the streets of Damascus where the nerve gas agents were used and wrote about it in a chapter of the book. And in fact, there's even some photos of what Syria and Damascus looked like at that point, including that Christian village that was recently overtaken. I've been in a Christian church in that area.
Now, the U.S., because of the documentation it has, they're pretty sure that chemical weapons were used. However, skeptics are still saying there's not really enough proof that Assad's regime did this, possibly Al-Qaeda or some other group wanting the U.S. to get into the conflict.
Well, that kind of goes against the grain of the evidence and the facts that Assad has accumulated the largest chemical stockpile in the world. He's got the capability of using it. He's apparently crossed that line and has used it. So the issue now is what we do about it, because this has been banned for almost 100 years now, since World War I, and it is a red line of some kind.
When do you expect some type of military action, if any, against Syria?
You know, that's hard to say, Jose, because, you know, we're in a very strange situation. This is not Iraq in that, you know, Iraq, the question was, are there weapons of mass destruction? Here we know there are. No one is talking about boots on the ground, but now that it's up for a Congress vote, could go either way. The problem is, the question is, if we do nothing, then you got Syria aligned with Iran and Russia, and then obviously if we're not going to act when chemical weapons are used, the Katie barred the door. It's just going to happen over and over again. Could happen anyway, but it's definitely going to give the green light to them.
If we strike, then there's that potential for retaliation. Do you think Assad will go after his own people, use chemical weapons again, maybe in another area?
Oh, I think he's going to do that even if we don't do a thing. I mean, he's already killed over 100,000 of his own people. His father set the precedent for this. He attacked one of the villages, killed 10,000. His son has done 10 times that. If we do nothing, he'll definitely use the chemical weapons again.
What about the resistance? There are problems with resistance. Who is our ally? Or are we just stuck in a situation where we will not have a friend if Assad falls?
That's the problem here, is because this started as a secular revolt against Assad, like part of the Arab Spring that's kind of rippled through that entire area. However, if Assad does fall, then you have the groups from Al-Qaeda that ran in from Iraq after all this started that might try to do a takeover. So our balance is try to slap Assad enough to get him to the negotiating table to try to work out some kind of shared power arrangement. Otherwise, if he falls, it's chaos. If he stays, it's chaos. It's a real mess.
We're just going to have to wait and see what happens. Michael Fjetland, security expert, thank you so very much for joining us here on Fox 26 Morning News and sharing with us your experience in Syria.
Thank you, Jose. Appreciate it.